I refuse to believe that I'm the only one who doesn't want to spend £200 or €200 on a simple leather journal. Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel where we normally talk about books. However, we are also here slightly obsessed with stationery. And today we're chatting about traveler leather journals, specifically about Paper Republic dupes. If you're a stationery lover, you will be familiar with traveler journals. These are the leather covers for holding usually more than one or sometimes just one notebook within the cover. I'll show it to you in a second. And the latest obsessions, well, not maybe so much the latest because they have been available for at least 2 or 3 years, or either Paper Republic products or Louis Carmen products. In this video, I will be focusing on products similar to Paper Republic because I personally am not a fan of a trifold. So I just like simple notebook covers without the third flap that goes over the edge. That's a trifold. Surprisingly, when I was trying to find a video on Paper Republic Le Portfolio, specifically product dupes, I couldn't find any except for one. There was one video which I think is a couple of years old now, which is suggesting a product that is available in the US. And to be honest, I was really surprised about it, and especially for someone like me who is intrigued by this concept of a traveler notebook. I have never used it before because I'm a simple girl. If you've watched my video on my notebook ecosystem, you know that I most of the time on daily basis I will just use one notebook. However, because I do like leather products, I love the smell of a real leather, I thought I would love to try it myself, but I am not confident enough that I will stick to it to be spending this amount of money. So if you're in a similar position, this video is for you and hopefully this will be helpful. But before we jump into showing you these two products in details, let's just chat for a second about Paper Republic and what you're getting for the money. Now listen, there's no question the products are of stunning quality. I have no doubt because there are so many people out there talking about these products in such positive way. The leather is of very high quality. It smells amazing. The stitching is perfect. And by all means, if your budget allows and if this is what you want to spend your money on, please go ahead and do it. I'm not here to criticize the brand because I think they've done an amazing job. Took a very simple concept, perfected customer service and perfected materials that they're using, and they turned it into this amazing business. However, there is no escaping the fact that in the price of that product included are costs of the amazing studio, which I have just seen in one of the newsletters that they have expanded. They've built a whole new bar in there as well. Their studio is based in Vienna. So obviously someone needs to pay for that, and that cost is included in the product that you're buying. You also have to include the cost of marketing because there are so many influencers showing their products and they are openly or saying that they have been sent these products for free. So obviously that costs money. And most recently they have organized this pop-up in Paris where for 7 days they clearly must have sent a bunch of their team members, put them up in a hotel to sell the products in Paris. Again, that costs money. And by the way, when I said €200, we're talking about customized product. And for today's video, let's just focus on one specific product, which is the Le Portfolio, which is the one that I love the most because it has a pen holder and pockets. And I think if you're going to have something like that, you might as well maximize the functionality. That product product, if you buy it as it is, last time I was checking, the price was £138. However, when I was trying to customize my Le Portfolio, the final price was £220. I just refused to pay that kind of money for a product like that. Now, don't get me wrong, if I received a gift in the form of Le Portfolio from Paper Republic, I would be over the moon, and I would probably compare that with the dupes that I'm just about to show you, and I would probably admit, yes, this is of a superior quality to the other two. But will knowing this make me want to spend the money on it? Probably not. And honestly, sometimes I get a little bit frustrated watching these videos where people are talking about these super expensive products as if it's normal for a regular person to spend £200 on a notebook cover. One final point I want to make is that there are actually quite a few videos showing how to make your own leather journal. And if you are that kind of person who is quite handy and artsy, try it out. However, I can tell you, I am not a handy person, and I am not even going to attempt a project like this because whatever would come out of it would not look pretty. Okay, we're going to start with my favorite of the two products that I have purchased. I have, by the way, purchased both with my own money with a view to keep one, and the other one I will either give as a gift, or maybe I'll try and sell it on eBay or Vinted. But I did want to have more than one product to show you. So this particular one I purchased from Etsy. The price for this one was £44. This leather journal is made from Italian leather as well as Paper Republic's journals. In terms of quality, I can't compare them. However, I can tell you that this leather does feel and smell really good. It's actually quite a heavy duty cover and very, very smooth. It has these sort of real leather marks on it, and from what I can see, I'm by no means an expert, but from what I can see, the stitching on this is actually very good. Now, this particular product was made in the UK. I really wanted to make sure that I'm purchasing from local sellers. So this is Etsy seller based in the UK, and this is just one person making these products. She ran out of this color leather and the communication was fantastic. She messaged me when she received the leather and it was back in stock and I could order the product. So like I said, this was £44, beautifully packaged. So this is a great option if you live in the UK and you want to order a product from a UK that is beautifully wrapped, because you can have full confidence. You send this to someone, for example, for Christmas, and when they open the package, it's going to look gorgeous because it came wrapped in a black tissue paper with a bit of a card as well in a nice appropriate size box. The only thing I will say about this one, you can't customize it, so you are not able to put initials on there. Now, for me personally, that didn't matter, because what I'm thinking, if I'm buying something that is made from natural materials, whether that's leather or whether it's, for example, a stone when it comes to jewelry, I kind of imagine that in the future I would love for these items to be passed on to my children and maybe their children's children. And if you put initials on anything, if you personalize it, that may potentially discourage them to use it in the future, and it just loses that versatility. So like I said, with this one there is no engraving option, but don't worry, if that's important to you, the next product I will show you does have that option, and there's no way to customize the color of the ribbon or string. I'm not sure what these are called, which, you know, with Paper Republic you can customize these. However, these are so easy to switch. I mean, look, inside all you do, you just untie this and you can purchase different color elastics from Etsy, Amazon, anywhere really. I really like that this product inside has this dark navy pockets, and also that inside you've got the kind of a rough look. And yes, this is navy. I know it may be showing as black, but it's super, super dark navy. I think it makes this whole thing quite elegant. It has these two pockets. Now, if you look at Le Portfolio from Paper Republic, they have 3 pockets here, 2 big pockets here, including 1 pocket here, or you can have it on the left hand side for a pen. Again, for me, pen holder is not the most important thing because I never use just one pen. I like to have at least 2 different colors plus a pencil, plus I usually carry with me my little tabs or sticky notes that I use to mark pages in the books that I'm reading, and for that reason I would usually always have in my handbag my pencil case with all of these items. But again, don't worry, if you need a pen holder, the next item will have it. I thought what would be really fun is to see how I can dress this up. Now, I have never done this before. I've never used this type of journal before, so just bear with me. I did get some charms from a local accessorized store. And also I've got some pens here with me. Let's see if we will be able to put them in the pockets that we have. I doubt it, but we're going to check it in a minute. I also got some Muji notebooks. I also have 2 most popular notebooks out there, which is the Moleskine and, my goodness, how do you pronounce it? Leuchtturm notebook. So let's see, how will this baby look like once we dress it up? Okay, so first of all, let's try this Muji notebook. This is one of my favorite notebooks that I have rediscovered recently because I have started using fountain pens a lot more. And this is a very, very high quality paper, perfect for fountain pens. So I think what you do with these notebooks, you simply just put this string in the middle of the notebook, and then you do it with every single notebook. Now here I've got from Muji this very simple weekly notebook. Let's put it on this side, which are, I guess, 2 notebooks that I would be more likely to use. I also have this other monthly notebook, which I think I'm even more likely to use, but we're going to use it for the other notebook. And then just to show you, so currently I'm using this notebook, and what I tend to do, let's see what I have at the back here. Okay, so at the back of my notebook, apparently what I tend to keep is a list of things that apparently my teenage daughter needs me to buy for her. There's lots of chocolate and makeup on there. And I also have some discount coupons that I tend to keep in this way, and then I just throw them out if they expire. And this is parcel delivery proof. Again, I just need to keep it for a short period of time. So let's see if I just put it in there like this, and maybe this like so. Actually, it's good to have it in this way because in my Moleskine journal, when I keep it in the pocket that is there at the back, sorry, not Moleskine, this is the other one, this is Leuchtturm, I tend to forget about it because it's kind of out of sight, whereas if it sits here, I won't forget. Okay, so that's that. Now, let's just see, this is a Muji pen that I sometimes use as well. Let's see if we can stick it in this pocket. Actually, surprisingly, oh no, it flips. Let's see. If you put it in like that, will it stay? Okay, so actually, I don't think you would lose this pen in there. However, and this is why I think it's always better to buy a dupe. At least buy it first to see if the functionality meets your needs, because I can tell that obviously any pen will create this bulge in a journal, which tells me that even if I purchased Paper Republic's Le Portfolio, I wouldn't be carrying pen in there because it would give the notebook unnecessary bulkiness. And like I said, I'm carrying my pens in a pencil case anyway, but something that you may want to consider. So again, you'd be paying for a special pen holder, but in reality, if you like me, you would find this very, very annoying. We'll see in a minute how a specific pen holder holds up in the second item that I will be showing you in a minute. But let's finish dressing up this baby. So, like I said, I've got these charms. They're very, very basic. They cost me £4, but you can get them anywhere. And actually, I'm not sure if I need to cut it off or do I just detach these. 1 second. How pretty is that? And actually, now I'm looking at this, I think this is what made me want to try out a leather journal like this. I think it's these charms. They just make this whole product look so much more, I don't know, luxurious even. I have 2 other charms here, which I think I'm gonna try on the other journal. Look at this gorgeous green. This is actually not a charm, this is just a keyring, but I thought this would look really good on a journal like this. Now let's just go back in before we move into the second product. Take out the pen, which as you could see did flop like this. So in the long run, I don't think this would work in terms of holding a pen. I just wanted to show you that here inside, look at this. I'm using proper A5 notebooks and there is still a lot of space. You could definitely fit in 3 journals. And this is one of the things that from watching videos on Paper Republic Le Portfolio, I have noticed that the size of Le Portfolio must be a little bit different and not as wide, because when people are using proper A5 notebooks, they come right to the edge, which I'm not sure if it's that great, because then your notebooks are not protected. You know, it must feel so good to carry something like this with you, go to a cafe and take it out of your handbag and open it. Sorry, my camera keeps moving because I'm sitting above the camera to be able to film this for you. Yes, so it must be amazing to be sitting in a cafe and smell this leather. There is definitely that slightly more vintage feel to the whole exercise. And for some of you, that may be very important, because maybe you'll get more inspiration when it comes to writing inside your journals, which, you know, I will try it this way. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's going to work for me. I'm happy to do an update video a bit later on, but I definitely do like the idea of having a simple calendar on one side, because I like to have an overview of the dates and put key events in there so that at a glance I can see what's happening, and then use my main notebook for everything else. Oh, do you know what we didn't do? I wanted to compare the sizes in case Leuchtturm notebook is wider than Muji, to see if it fits inside, but actually no, it's not wider. So the Muji notebook is slightly wider, which means you will have no problems fitting that inside. And if you will have no problems fitting Leuchtturm inside, you definitely won't have problems fitting in Moleskine inside, because if you're familiar with this brand, you know that the notebooks are even narrower than Leuchtturm, which is one of the reasons why I've always liked Moleskine. Okay, let's move on to the second product, which is another Etsy product, and I will of course link everything for you below. Obviously, if you located in United States, you will have to look for local sellers near you if you don't want to be ordering from somewhere far away, if you know that's the sort of thing that is important to you, as it was for me. Nevertheless, both of my products, as well as the third one I'll be mentioning, as well as the charms, as well as the notebooks, will be linked below. So this was even cheaper than the first leather journal. The first one was £44. This one cost me, together with the delivery from Ukraine, because this is where this product comes from. Like I said, I wanted to stick to ideally UK or if not, then Europe. And to be honest, I was surprised how very few notebooks like these with pockets inside were available here in the UK. And this is why I decided to get this product from Ukraine. This cost me all in total £28.06. Again, I have filmed a footage of how it came, very, very basic packaging. So heads up that this may not be ideal if you are planning to send it directly to your gift recipient, because it just came in this bubble wrap envelope and a bit of plastic, and that's it. And I do need to say immediately that yes, it's definitely leather, but the quality of the leather does differ from the first product. It is, let me just grab this again. This feels much more luxurious. This feels thinner, and it's not just the thickness of the leather, but the quality is just not there. Although I do like that darker color, but you know, it's much more affordable. So for some of you, this may be the only option, and I wanted to include a super affordable option as well. And also what I wanted to do is to show you how these notebooks differ inside. This one is very similar to what Le Portfolio offers to you inside, because Le Portfolio has identical sort of slots for business cards, which for me, to be honest, they're pretty useless, because I would never put business cards in here like that. I tend to put contact details straight into my mobile phone, because you know, you lose these things, right? And I am much more likely to use these bigger pockets, and like I showed you before, these sort of oftentimes larger pieces of paper that I'm collecting. And so this would not fit in there anyway. So what I would end up doing, and of course that's just me, you may be different, but I would be probably using these main pockets only and not use the small pockets so much. Okay, let's stick some notebooks inside. So like I said, I've got this monthly notebook from Moji. I love that you can just put dates in there, because you never waste a page, right? If you're traveling, or for example, if you have a long break because of illness or whatever, and you haven't filled out your January, you can just start doing things from February, and you can grab it at any time of the year as well. And also, if you run out of pages, you just grab another one of these. These are extremely affordable. Okay, so I would keep these on the left. So let's see. Let's put it like that. I have another Muji notebook. This is one of those thinner notebooks. This one has the grid inside. Oops, sorry, I'm not doing it right. Actually, this may be a good question to ask you if you have been using these notebooks. Do you put the ribbon here right after the cover, or do you go into roughly middle of the notebook and put it in like so? With this one, let's try and put in a third notebook, because we have 1, 2, 3, actually 4 strings. So we could go crazy here, and let's see how it closes. To be honest, it feels like there's loads of space, and you could probably fit another notebook. And it may be because I'm using quite thin notebooks, but let's just see if I just go like this. Is this gonna work? Wow, that's impressive. Look at the amount of notebooks I have in there. To be fair, I haven't tried it with the first product, so I might go back to it in a second and also test it out in terms of how many notebooks it can hold. And finally, let's stick a pen. So first of all, this Muji pen, which is quite thin. This slid in very, very easily and very nicely, but also it feels like it has a good grip on it, and this pen is not going anywhere. Now let's close it. Okay, so again, you have this problem of this notebook bulging up a bit, and in the bag it's just, yes, you can see this is uneven, and that would drive me crazy on that basis. Pen holder is pretty much a redundant functionality for me, but just for the purpose of this video, let's see if I can fit in my fountain pen. Yes, I can. But again, look at this. For me, it takes away from the aesthetics of this journal. Again, so this is what it looks like inside. Basically, I'm not sure why no one is talking about this, but it's very impractical to hold a pen inside. Now, obviously, again, with Paper Republic, maybe they have some kind of special design that prevents from having this issue, but to be honest, I doubt it. It's physics. This pen takes space, and whatever journal you'll be using, I suspect it will create the same sort of bulge. Now, let's do what I said we need to do, which is, before we put charms on this one, I just want to see quickly how many notebooks you can put in this journal. Now, I don't know if you can see, but obviously this string is located slightly higher. And then we've got 2 here. Again, I'm not an expert, so maybe some of you will tell me you're not supposed to be using these, or maybe they can only be used for shorter notebooks, but I'm going to try it. So yeah, that definitely does go in. And look at that. Wow. So I have 2 regular size, which means quite thick notebooks, one Moleskine, one Muji, and another one thin Muji. And look, it feels like the leather is hugging these still quite nicely. By the way, I'm using these kind of regular charms that you just clip on, but there are special charms I think you can purchase that you put directly onto the string, which means you have to untie the string, and I think they won't move as much if that's something that would bother you. Do you know what? This product feels great in my hands. I love it, and I think that is going to be the one that I'll be keeping. But obviously it's more expensive than this one. Oh, also one other thing I wanted to show you is what it looks like on the edges. And I do think that even on camera you can see the quality of this leather, the quality of the finish, and even the fact that you have these 3 quite massive comparing to these discreet little openings for the ribbons. It just again shows the difference in the quality of the product. Okay, but let's treat both products fairly and let's dress this baby up. So I've got this very, very simple keyring, which I think even just on its own, it looks nice, but if we want to take it to another level, let's attach this little green charm at the bottom. There you go. So actually, this is quite comfortable to pull as well. I might switch these and put them on my other notebook that I'll be keeping. By the way, green suddenly has become my favorite color. Does that happen to you, that you tend to go into various favorite colors phases? Okay, so that's our second product. Let's put them next to each other. In terms of the summary, definitely this is a superior product. However, the payoff is that this is a heavier product, definitely. One final thing is just to give you an idea of the width with the notebooks inside. This one measures 16 centimeters and 23 in length. So 16 wide, 23 in length, whereas this one is 16 and a half in width and also 23 in length. And actually it makes sense because you can see that the notebooks in this one, they come out more to the edge, whereas here you have lots of kind of hugging space. Before we wrap up, let me just quickly mention the third product, which, as I hinted earlier, is non-real leather product, because maybe some of you don't want to buy real leather. And when I looked at it online, it looked so beautiful. I was convinced it was actually a real leather. This is a product by a company that is based in Germany. I think you can customize and choose different colors for the ribbons or strings, but the actual product comes in one color, which is this natural nude color, I would say. And I will also, of course, link it below. I don't remember how much it was. I think it was something like 58 euros or something like that, but it looked extremely elegant, and honestly, I wish I could purchase it, but I knew I wouldn't be using it, so I didn't want to go too crazy in terms of the spending budget for this video, which I do hope you found very helpful. And by the way, if you find any more videos on dupes for Le Portfolio from Paper Republic, please point me to them because I couldn't find them. Christmas is coming. Some of us may want to buy an item like this as a gift, and this is why I thought it would be useful to talk to all the fellow stationery geeks out there about leather journals today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you next Friday, and if you have any suggestions on any stationery themed videos that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.